Self-service lock. See if I can go through the lock, see if these kind people will let me squeeze in with them. Do you mind if I jump in with you? Do you mind if I just squeeze in behind you? Thank you. Thanks. Great, the X500, isn't it?
Love it.
I've got one, yeah.
Absolutely love it.
According to the map, there's an island down here that's worth checking out as a potential for a camping spot. Whoa, it's like an island has fallen over. Okay, so I've had a paddle all the way around the island and there are no private or no mooring signs. In fact, I think there's even there's a couple of spots back there where you can see where river cruisers have moored up for the night and stuff. So I think this is fine. It's definitely an island that belongs to nature though. Mainly these geese, Goose Island. So I'm going to be, oh, there's a kingfisher. Oh, I doubt you'd be able to see that on this camera. All right, I'm going to be very respectful here. Not that I always, you know, aren't, but... makeshift mooring line here because I forgot my usual mooring rope. Okay, let's take a peek. has its own lake. Okay, I've had a little look around. This side of the island seems to be where all the nesting geese are. I found another little spot further downstream, which is a bit more peaceful and secluded. Obviously, I want to leave the birds alone. This is their home. Right, this is a bit of a quieter side of the island, so I'll pitch up here. There's quite a bit of goose poo around here. It's also evidence of a campfire that's been here before. I mean, I'll be putting down a ground sheet as well, but just want to get most of it away. It's not too bad here. I think most of the geese live sort of that end of the island. There we go. Not my greatest effort in terms of hammock and tarp setups, but it'll do for tonight. Oh, it's so good to be doing this again. Beautiful. evening on the river, sleeping in the outdoors, got the camera rolling. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, good to see you guys again. Cheers. Yeah, sorry I haven't posted as much as I wanted to lately. A couple of people even got in touch like, where did you go? Yeah, I haven't been that well lately actually for a while. And it's all good. I was waiting for some tests and just feeling a bit miserable, and that's always a kind of like, stressful wait and everything. But it's all good. I'm fine actually. I'm not 100%, but I'm getting there. I'm going to make a couple of lifestyle changes, but don't we all, eh? I'm no spring chicken anymore. Despite my youthful looks, I'm actually getting on a bit, guys. But it's all good. I'm getting back to it. Quite apt that I'm getting back into it on Easter weekend. Easter is all about resurrection and rebirths, which is entirely what I'm planning to do with the with the pace of the channel. I've got loads of cool videos lined up. I'm going to be working on immediately after this one actually. So stick around for the ride. It's going to be a nice summer. Lots going on. And yeah, if you're not subscribed already, then don't be shy. Hit the subscribe button. Get on board. It's nice to have you here. Oh, and speaking of Easter, it's Good Friday today, and I believe the tradition on Good Friday is to eat fish. So that's what I've got planned for dinner tonight. Going to be making some salmon fish cakes cooked up on a Trangia stove. So I brought these fairy lights with me because I forgot to order new candles for my Uko lantern, but also it looks friendly, and I know that sounds strange, but I know that like sometimes when you're like a beardy bloke wild camping on your own, especially in Oxfordshire, sometimes it can look a little bit sketchy. So I guess this looks a bit like I'm just a guy on the river, just having some fun on the weekend sort of thing. I think with wild camping, like there's different approaches. Like sometimes I'll be like completely stealth camping, inconspicuous, all this totally covered up, camouflaged a lot. Sometimes a better approach is to be a bit more visible. I quite like the ambience of this anyway, so looks nice, doesn't it? Dusting my bowl with a bit of flour. It's really simple, just some dehydrated mash. I've never really used dehydrated mash before. Normally I cook with real potatoes, but this is I had low expectations of that, but it's actually quite tasty. Definitely good to keep in mind for other camp cooking dishes. So this is just tinned salmon, and you just mix it all up basically. Let this cool down for a bit. It's quite hot, so obviously you don't want to handle that with your hands. And just give my hands a really good proper clean, obviously, out in the outdoors. Flour to thicken it up. Should add salt and pepper, but I didn't bring any with me. I was hoping to nab some from the train station cafe, the little salt and pepper sachets, but it didn't quite work out. But actually this is really quite salty anyway, so I think we're going to be fine. But I did bring some, if I remembered it, yes, some freshly cut herbs from my garden this morning. It's just rosemary and thyme. probably make quite a few of these from these ingredients, but it's just me on my own tonight. So should I make one big fish cake or two regular sized ones? I think I'll do two regular patties. Roll into a little ball like that. Pat down. I mean, this isn't bad so far for some outdoors cooking, you know. Haven't got a worked surface and right. We get the frying pan on and fry these up. Right, the moment of truth. That's great. It's so nice having like a proper cooked meal and on the outdoors. You know, normally I just have those like adventure packets that you get from like Cotswold or wherever, and you know, it's rehydrated, very high calorie, really filling, really dry, and I'm getting really into the outdoors cooking, man. It makes such a difference. This is great. This is like proper comfort food. Like, I totally see why Ray Mears calls this like canoe camp fish cakes. I totally see why. Yeah, it's just perfect for like after a long day paddling and setting up camp. This is exactly what we want. And it's just easy. It's easy to transport the ingredients, you know. It's very simple to make. Doesn't matter if you make a mess of it. Great stuff. A little bit of simple salad that I prepared at home and brought and whacked some oil on. No problem. There's plenty of energy in this, and I'm going to need it for tomorrow for that upstream paddle back to Oxford. And not to mention the lugging all that gear on the trains and stuff all the way back home. It's worth it though. Oh, as it's Easter, I think it might be appropriate to have a sip of wine. And for dessert, got myself some little Easter eggs. Happy Easter. It's a great night's sleep. Usually I love sleeping to the wildlife, the noises of all the birds and everything at night. But at one point there was total silence, full moon, just lovely. And you know what? I feel 100% better. This is just what I needed, a bit of nature therapy. boating wise, I bought the Itiwit X100 for this trip, just while it was still on loan, and I wanted to see what it was like on a proper canoe camping trip like this, you know, the stuff I normally do. And it's been awesome, actually. Having like a more open canoe type as opposed to like a sit-in, which is what I'm normally used to, certainly has its benefits. So it's like super easy getting in and out of, especially on like tricky landing spots, so you know, like islands like this. Super stable, especially because of that rigid like drop stitch floor. Tons of room in there. It's a big boat, you know, for all my gear and everything. And yeah, it was just a pleasure to paddle down here. So I think like something like this would be great for like short weekend trips, and then the X500 more for like long distance touring. In my last video, I think I used the wrong pump for this. So this time I brought this black pump, which I've used before in the X500. And I think basically for like the black pumps are for the drop stitch boats, and then the orange pumps are for the standard boats, because like this pumped it up so quickly. I mean, it was like quick anyway, you know, but this was like done. But all packed up. Now it's time to get back to reality, I suppose.